Hey, you guys, it's Jennifer Reynolds. I'm going to go over what we call a basket purchase in accounting and how to record this. So, I have a basket of goods here that you see I can buy for $900,000. What is in this basket of goods? Well, I get a building, I get some land that my building's sitting on, and I get a truck and I pay someone $900,000 for it. Well, when I go to have this appraised, why would I have it appraised, Jennifer? Because I have to record these assets on my books. We call that capitalizing something, remember? When I go to record them on my books, I can't just say stuff for 900,000. I have to record the equipment, the building, and the land separately. So I go to get it appraised to see how much each of the individual items are. And y'all, this is what the appraiser tells me. They say, Jennifer, your equipment, that's my truck up here, is worth $100,000. The building appraises or is worth 700,000, and your land is worth 200,000. Okay, how much did that sell price on my basket say? What did we pay for it? 900,000. So I'm going to assume I paid cash. Look at that journal entry and tell me real speedy quick what's wrong with it. But Jennifer, we know that all debits always have to equal credits. And y'all, what do these debits add up to? That's $1 million, not 900,000. So first of all, I got a deal, right? I got stuff worth $1 million that only cost me 900,000. Does that ever happen in real life? Absolutely. Why? Well, maybe instead of piecemealing it out, the seller said, I want to sell all of this in one fell swoop, so I'm going to make you a good deal on it. Or it could be a foreclosure situation. Maybe this is a grocery store that went out of business and all of these things are getting foreclosed on. So they're like, something's better than nothing. But yes, this happens in real life. So we know we cannot make this journal entry because our debits don't equal our credits. Therefore, I have to reallocate these prices based on what they're worth in the whole entire basket. So we do it based on those fair market values that we get from the appraisal. And I come down here and I say, okay, my equipment is worth 100,000 out of the entire, all of this is worth $1 million. I didn't pay $1 million, that's what it's worth, right? So 100,000 out of the $1 million is 10%. Therefore, my equipment is worth 10% of the whole basket. Then the building is worth 700,000 out of the whole $1 million. That's 70%. And finally, my land is worth 200,000 out of my whole $1 million. That's why I like that this problem uses a million for the fair market value. You can do it in your head. But obviously, if you had harder numbers, 882,000, divided by 1,083,000, you can still do this. Same thing. This is worth 20%. Okay, so what do these percentages mean? That's what they're worth out of the whole basket. So now we just multiply that by what we actually paid. So I only paid 900,000 for the whole basket. 900,000 times 10% would be 90,000. I'm not going to record my equipment at what it's worth. I'm going to record it only what I paid for it. My building is 70% of the 900,000. That's 630. And then my land is 20% of the 900,000, 180. So now, speedy quick, add up those debits and what do we get? 90 plus 630 plus 180. Ta-da! 900,000. So again, we have to split up each asset because when we depreciate, we don't depreciate land at all. Equipment usually gets depreciated in a shorter period of time than building. So all of those assets have to be recorded separately. Again, I can't just have one account that says stuff. And then I've got to do this allocation because even though it's worth more, in accounting, we record those assets at what we paid for it, the actual cost, rather than just what it might be worth on the open market. And that is what we call a basket purchase.